Hey everybody, I'm John and this is Blind Whiskey Reviews. Hey everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today here on Blind Whiskey Reviews, the most honest reviews on YouTube. Today I'm bringing you another side-by-side comparison of a couple Knob Creek whiskeys, but this segment kind of harkens back to what we've been doing a few times on this channel where I compare an old version of the whiskey to the latest version of the whiskey. So today we're taking a look at the Knob Creek small batch non-age statement and we're comparing it to the Knob Creek small batch 9-year-old with the 9-year-old age statement down here on the bottle in red. So this has been a couple of years. If you haven't followed these whiskeys, it's been a couple of years since since Knob Creek lost its age statement. It used to have the 9-year age statement and they transitioned to not having any age statement on it. Now, if you've watched the last couple of videos I put out comparing the non-age stated small batch to a couple of the new releases like the quarter oak and the 12-year, you saw we had some interesting results. So I'm really excited to do this comparison to see how big the difference is with the age statement and without. Maybe there is one, maybe there isn't, who knows. So I'm really excited to dig into these whiskeys, so let's not waste a whole lot more time and let's get straight into this comparison. So we're going to start with the nose. There's a nice fruitiness on here, but it feels very well balanced. So there's a nice light fruit, a little bit of cherry and dark fruit, a little bit of that Jim Beam nutty character, a little bit of oak, a little bit of vanilla. Like there's a nice balance here. Let's move on to this one. This one feels similar, but not quite as complex. Like I'm not catching as many notes. Like I'm getting the light fruit. I'm not getting as much of that nutty character. I'm not getting as much of the sweetness either. This one smells a touch sweeter to me. I feel like I'm almost getting a little bit of citrus here that I didn't get on this. And maybe like those vanilla notes are there and those oak notes are there, but they don't feel quite as strong on the nose here. So, I don't know quite where we're at yet. Like I said, this one's feeling a little bit more complex on the nose, but that doesn't mean much. Let's get to where it really counts and get to the taste. All right. First taste here, and again, this is the first whiskey I'm putting over my palate right now, so we're definitely going to need some subsequent tastings. But at first taste, the nose was a little bit more complex than the palate's getting to me right now, but let's ignore that. Let's go straight on to the next whiskey just to get these whiskeys over the palate, get my palate warmed up so I can really kind of give you some notes on these. All right, we've gotten some whiskey over the palate. I mean, just an initial impression. These are very different than they were on the noses. This one is quite a bit more bitter tasting at this point. There's a lot more bite on the back end, more of those oaky tannins. So, does that mean it's the older whiskey? I'm not sure yet. Let me get a sip of water here and we'll get on with the tasting and get some more notes. All right. Now we're warmed up. Let's see what we got. All right, we're getting a lot of that light fruit up front. Mid palate kind of bends a little bitter on you. Get some of those oak tannins, a little bit of that vanilla, very slight hints of brown sugar. This one felt sweeter on the nose, but it's feeling, at least compared to the first sip, a little less sweet than this one was, kind of mid palate. A little bit of those darker fruits are kind of coming through, like that cherry note, kind of in the mid to back palate. Definitely some vanilla in the aftertaste here, in the finish. Interesting. Let me get another sip of water. And we'll move on to this whiskey. Okay, this one is starting to smell more rich on the nose. And just so you guys know, these bottles have both been open at this point for at least a couple weeks apiece. So they've had a little bit of time to breathe, to open up, have a little air time. So they've definitely, these aren't fresh pours by any stretch. Yeah, this one's starting to open up. It's getting a little bit more robust on the nose, some more dark character. So let's see what we got. Yeah, this one's a little bit sweeter. Where this one starts to turn bitter in the mid palate, this one's got some sweetness right there. That brown sugar's really in your face, really prevalent, that caramel character. I'm not getting as many of those darker fruit notes. There's a little bit on the back of the palate. Definitely on the finish in the back of the palate, this one has more of that oaky, bitter vanilla bite to it. So if I'm taking an initial guess, we're going to take a couple more tastes, but my initial guess is perhaps that this is the 9-year age stated. It just feels like it has more oak qualities to it. It has a little bit richer, darker character. All right, so now I'm going to go this one back to this one, see how that transitions. There's even almost a touch of like butterscotch and toffee on this one. Not very strong, kind of in the back. Not something I normally get from Jim Beam, at least that I can recall, but it's definitely there on this whiskey. All right. This one just feels, and even on the nose now, feels lighter. It has a lot of those lighter fruit notes. Yeah, more lighter fruit, light vanilla, a little bit less sweetness, a little bit more burn I feel like here too. Maybe that's just in my head. You know, in my head I'm thinking this is the older whiskey perhaps, so maybe I'm just kind of manufacturing it. But I really feel like there's more, a little bit more heat on the palate with this one. All right, let me clean my palate up one more time. We'll take our final taste and then take a guess. It's strange too because these both very much feel like Jim Beam, Knob Creek, but they're both relatively different. I mean, there's some definite differences here. It's doing this whole kind of series with the different Knob Creeks, with the 12-year, with the quarter oak, with the small batch non-age stated, with the 9-year. It's been kind of fun seeing them all compared side to side to see how much one whiskey can really vary with a few small changes. So it's been a really interesting experiment. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying it. Let's take our final taste here and then take a shot at what we think these whiskeys are. Yeah, just staying much lighter than this is. And don't get me wrong, these are both really good whiskeys. This one's just on the lighter side. Much more vanilla. I'm getting that butterscotch in the nose here too now. Just feels richer. Yeah, the same. Just lots more richer, deeper, darker notes. So, based on what I'm tasting here, I've got to guess that this is the 9-year age stated whiskey, although that doesn't mean anything. I won't ruin it for you if you haven't watched the other reviews of the comparisons I've done between the small batch non-age stated and a couple of the other Knob Creek whiskeys I've done. One of them was a surprise though. One of them I got wrong. And possibly because I made some assumptions about how the whiskey should taste, but regardless, that's why you do blind reviews. You want to make sure you're taking out all bias of what you know about these whiskeys and put it down to what really matters, and that's the taste of the whiskey. So I'm going to say that whichever whiskey this one is the 9-year-old age-stated whiskey, simply based on the fact it's got those deeper, richer, darker notes, and I think the extra age would provide those to it. And I'm going to say that this is the small batch non-age statement. So let's see if I'm right. So the results are here. The whiskey marked 1 or 1 line is non-age stated. The whiskey marked 2 or 2 lines is the 9-year-old. So let's see what we've got in this whiskey, which I said was the non-age statement. And this is 1. This is the non-age stated. Thank God my reputation holds. And this is, I don't know if you can see this, this is marked 2 lines 2 for the 9-year-old whiskey. So in this case, the old 9-year-old version is the best whiskey out of these two. Don't think that's much of a surprise for anybody here, but that's the facts. This whiskey is right now tasting better than this one. And the great thing is, like I said, the 9-year is coming back. However, the old 9-year is still on shelves. I just bought this bottle in the last, I bought it around Thanksgiving. So this bottle is like 3 weeks old. I bought it. And I paid $24 for it. So you can still get out there and grab the 9-year-old Knob Creek at 100 proof with a 9-year age statement for 24 bucks. That's a great deal. Go out and get it if you can still find them. But there's nothing wrong with the non-age day whiskey either. It is really, really good still. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Did you like the old 9-year-old age-stated Knob Creek better? Are you excited that the Knob Creek 9-year age statement is coming back? I sure am. Hopefully you are too. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, guys, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at blind_reviews. You can also catch me on Instagram at Mission Bottle Kill, where I'm posting pictures of people emptying out all kinds of great bottles of whiskey. If you'd like me to repost your pick, just tag at Mission Bottle Kill in your post. And you can also send me an email at blindwhiskeyreviews, that's whiskey with an E, @gmail.com. And until next time, cheers.